English Daily, the podcast.
Your English journey starts now. Hey, English learners. Welcome back to your podcast, the English Daily Podcast.
Yes, we're so happy to have you here today.
Today's episode is all about something that's changing the business world completely. Digital Transformation 2.0.
That's right, and we're going to make it really practical for you, especially if you're looking to work in international companies or read English business materials.
So whether you're a beginner or already speaking well, you'll find something useful here. We'll explain all the key terms in a simple way.
Let's dive right in.
So Jack, I've been hearing this term everywhere, Digital Transformation 2.0. But what does it actually mean? It sounds like a sequel to a movie or something, right?
That's actually a really good way to think about it, Anna. It is like a sequel, but in the world of business and technology. You know, the first wave of digital transformation was basically companies starting to use computers and the internet.
Oh, I see. So it started with email and basic websites?
Exactly. Back in the 1990s and early 2000s, digital transformation meant putting your business processes online. It was about efficiency, sending emails instead of letters, having a website instead of printed brochures. But digital transformation 2.0 is something completely different.
How is it different? What makes it version 2.0?
Great question. Digital Transformation 2.0 is about using really advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data to completely reimagine how businesses work. It's not just about doing things digitally, it's about thinking digitally. The whole mindset changes.
Wow, that's a big shift. So instead of just copying what we do offline onto computers, we're actually changing how we do things.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so important for your career. Whether you're in marketing, finance, HR, or any field, understanding this will help you in job interviews and at work. Let me give you a real example.
Please do. I love real examples.
Okay, so think about a traditional clothing store. First wave of digital transformation, they created an online shop, right? They took the same clothes, same sizes, same everything, and just put it on a website.
That makes sense. It's like moving your shop from a physical building to a digital one.
Right, but Digital Transformation 2.0 would be completely different. The store might use AI to analyze what customers are buying, combine that with social media trends, and actually predict what styles will be popular next season. They might use virtual fitting rooms where customers can see how clothes look on their phone. They might customize products based on individual customer preferences.
That's incredible. So it's not just moving the business online, it's making it smarter.
That's exactly it. And this is why businesses are stepping up their tech game. The competition is so fierce now that companies that don't evolve simply can't survive. Have you noticed this in your own experiences, Anna?
Actually, yes. I recently went to my bank to deposit a check, and they told me I could just use the app. I didn't need to go to the branch at all. And honestly, I haven't been to a bank in person in over 2 years now.
Right. That's Digital Transformation 2.0 in action. The bank isn't just offering an app as an option, they're reimagining the entire customer experience. Many bank branches are closing because most transactions happen digitally now.
So for someone starting their career, why does this matter so much?
It matters because the jobs of the future will require understanding these concepts. When you go for an interview, companies want to see that you understand the digital landscape. And when you get hired, you'll need to work with these technologies. That's why we're doing this episode, to give you the vocabulary and understanding you need.
That's so true. And don't worry, we'll explain everything in simple terms. Let's continue with more details. And you mentioned smart automation earlier, Jack. What exactly does that mean? I know what automation is, like those assembly lines in factories, but what makes it smart?
Oh, this is one of my favorite topics, Anna. Traditional automation is like following a recipe. You set up steps, and the machine does the same thing over and over. Like a dishwasher. It washes dishes the same way every time.
That's a great example. My dishwasher definitely doesn't learn new tricks.
Right, but smart automation uses artificial intelligence to learn and improve. It's like having a dishwasher that watches how you load dishes and figures out the most efficient way to wash them each time. It gets better with experience.
That's amazing. So it actually learns?
Yes, that's the key difference. Smart automation uses machine learning algorithms, which is basically a type of AI that improves from data. Let me give you some business examples because this is really important for your careers.
I'm all ears.
Think about customer service. Old automation would be an automated phone menu. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that. It follows strict rules.
Oh, I hate those. They're so frustrating sometimes.
Me too, but smart automation would be a chatbot that uses AI to understand what you're asking, learns from previous conversations, and gets better at helping customers over time. It can even detect the customer's mood and adjust its responses.
Wow, so it's almost like talking to a real person?
Almost, but not quite yet. But here's what businesses are really excited about. Smart automation can handle many tasks that used to require human intelligence. Things like sorting emails, scheduling meetings, generating reports, even analyzing data.
Wait, does that mean humans will lose their jobs?
That's a really important question, and I understand the concern. The truth is more nuanced. Smart automation is more about augmenting human work rather than replacing it entirely. Think about it this way. Doctors use AI to help diagnose diseases faster and more accurately, but they still need the doctor's judgment and empathy.
Oh, I see. So it's like a helper tool rather than a replacement.
Exactly. And this is crucial for your career preparation. The jobs of 2026 will likely involve working alongside smart automation. You'll need to understand how to use these tools, how to interpret their outputs, and how to do the parts of the job that require human creativity and emotional intelligence.
Can you give another example? Maybe in a different industry?
Sure, let's talk about human resources. Traditionally, when a company receives hundreds of job applications, HR people have to spend hours reading through them all. It's really tedious and time-consuming.
That sounds exhausting. I've heard some companies use software to filter resumes now.
Yes, they do. Smart automation in HR can screen resumes, identify the most qualified candidates, and even schedule interviews automatically. It can analyze patterns in successful hires to predict which candidates might succeed in the role.
So what do the HR people do then?
They're freed up to do what humans do best: building relationships, understanding company culture, interviewing for soft skills, and making final hiring decisions. They're more like talent advisors now rather than resume screeners.
That's actually really positive when you think about it. People can focus on more meaningful work instead of boring tasks.
Exactly. And this is the kind of thing you'll want to talk about in job interviews. When they ask you about your understanding of technology, you can explain how you see smart automation as a tool to enhance human work rather than replace it. That shows maturity and forward thinking.
What about in finance or accounting? I've heard those fields are being automated too.
Great example. In accounting, smart automation can handle invoicing, reconciliation, and even some tax calculations. It can detect fraud by analyzing patterns in financial data. But accountants are still needed for strategic planning, tax strategy, and advising clients.
So the pattern is clear. Automation handles the routine stuff, and humans focus on the strategic and relational work.
That's exactly it. And this brings us to our next important topic, predictive analytics, which is another huge part of digital transformation 2.0. Are you ready to learn more?
Absolutely. This is so valuable. So, what exactly is predictive analytics, Jack? It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
I get that reaction a lot, but it's actually not that mysterious. Predictive analytics is basically using data, statistics, and AI to predict what might happen in the future.
So, it's like making educated guesses based on information?
That's a really good way to put it. Let me give you a simple example. You know how streaming services like Netflix recommend shows you might like?
Oh, yes. Netflix always knows what I want to watch. It's almost creepy sometimes.
Right? That's predictive analytics in action. Netflix analyzes massive amounts of data, what you've watched, how long you watched, what other users with similar tastes watched, and then predicts what you might enjoy. That's exactly what predictive analytics does for business.
So, how do businesses use this in the real world?
Let me give you a business example. Imagine you work for a retail company with stores all over the country. In the past, managers would order inventory based on their experience and intuition. Some items would sell out, others would sit unsold.
That sounds inefficient and expensive.
It was. But with predictive analytics, the company can analyze historical sales data, weather patterns, local events, economic indicators, and even social media trends to predict exactly how much of each product they'll need at each location.
That's incredible. So they can know in advance?
Basically, yes. They can't predict the future with 100% accuracy. Nothing can do that. But they can make much better predictions than old methods. This reduces waste, saves money, and ensures customers find what they want.
What about other industries? I'm thinking about healthcare or finance.
Great question. In healthcare, predictive analytics can help doctors identify patients at high risk for certain conditions. By analyzing patient history, lifestyle factors, and genetic information, AI can flag people who might develop diabetes or heart disease, allowing for early intervention.
That sounds like it could save lives.
It absolutely can. And in finance, banks use predictive analytics to detect fraud. If your credit card is used in an unusual way, like a big purchase in a foreign country, the AI can predict if it's fraud and block the transaction before you lose money.
That's actually really reassuring. I had my card blocked once when I was traveling, and I was annoyed at the time, but now I understand why it happened.
Exactly. Now you'll appreciate it even more. And here's something important for your career. Companies are looking for people who understand data. Even if you're not in a technical role, being data literate is becoming essential.
What does being data literate mean exactly?
It means understanding how to read data, interpret it, and make decisions based on it. You don't need to be a mathematician or programmer. You just need to understand what the data is telling you and ask the right questions.
That's actually achievable for everyone. You don't need advanced degrees.
Absolutely. And this connects to another key concept in Digital Transformation 2.0, the idea of being data-driven. That means making decisions based on data and evidence rather than just gut feeling. It's a huge shift in business culture.
I can see how that would be important. Sometimes in business, people rely too much on what feels right, but data can tell a different story.
Exactly. And here's something interesting from my own experience. I worked with a marketing team that always launched campaigns based on what the senior managers thought would work. They had years of experience, so everyone trusted their instincts. But when they started using data analytics, they discovered that their instincts were often wrong.
No way! What happened?
They changed their entire approach. Instead of assuming they knew what customers wanted, they tested different messages, measured responses, and let the data guide them. Their campaigns became much more effective.
That's such a great example. So, being open to data and willing to change your mind is part of being ready for digital transformation 2.0.
That's exactly right. And this brings us to our next topic, why this all matters for your career specifically. Let's talk about the business impact.
So, Jack, we've talked about what digital transformation 2.0 is and some of the technologies involved, but why should someone learning English care about this for their career?
This is such an important question, Anna. Let me break it down. First, these terms, digital transformation, smart automation, predictive analytics, these are buzzwords you'll encounter constantly in English language business media, job descriptions, and professional conversations.
You're right. I see these words everywhere now.
Exactly. And when you understand these concepts in English, you open doors to global opportunities. Many multinational companies require English for communication, and if you can discuss these topics fluently, you become much more valuable.
Can you give an example of what might happen in a real job situation?
Sure, imagine you're in a job interview and they ask, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" If you say something about being open to learning new technologies and contributing to the company's digital transformation, that's impressive.
Oh, I see. It shows you're forward thinking and aware of business trends.
Exactly. Or imagine you're in a meeting and your manager says, "We need to leverage predictive analytics to improve our customer retention." If you understand what that means, you can participate meaningfully in the conversation.
And if you don't understand these terms?
Then you might feel lost or left behind. These discussions are becoming standard in almost every industry. That's why we're covering this today. We want you to be confident when you encounter these terms.
That's so important. And I imagine this varies by industry, right? Some industries are more affected than others.
Great point. Every industry is being affected, but some are experiencing more dramatic changes. Healthcare is seeing massive transformation with telemedicine and AI diagnostics. Retail is evolving with e-commerce and personalized shopping experiences. Financial services are being disrupted by fintech companies and digital banking.
What about more traditional industries like manufacturing or agriculture?
Those are actually really interesting. Manufacturing is being transformed by smart factories, robotics, and the Internet of Things. Agriculture uses AI for precision farming, analyzing soil, weather, and crop data to maximize yields. Even creative industries like advertising and content creation are being changed by AI tools.
It really is everywhere. Is there any industry that isn't affected?
Honestly, I can't think of one. Even nonprofit organizations and government agencies are digitalizing their operations. This is why it's called digital transformation. It's transforming everything.
So, what skills should someone focus on to prepare for this new reality?
Let me give you a practical list. First, basic digital literacy, being comfortable with computers, software, and online tools. Second, data awareness, understanding that decisions should be informed by data. Third, adaptability, being willing to learn new technologies and methods. Fourth, human skills, creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and communication. Fifth, continuous learning mindset. This is probably the most important.
I love that you mentioned human skills. Sometimes we get so focused on technology that we forget the human element.
That's so true, Anna. And here's something interesting from my experience. The people who thrive in digital transformation 2.0 aren't necessarily the most tech savvy. They're often the ones who combine technical understanding with human skills. They can translate between technical teams and business teams, for example.
So, it's about being a bridge?
Exactly. If you can speak both human and tech, you become incredibly valuable. And the good news is that you don't need to become a programmer to do this. You just need enough understanding to work effectively with technology teams.
That's really empowering. Not everyone needs to be an engineer. There are so many other roles.
Absolutely. And this is exactly why understanding the vocabulary matters. When you know what these terms mean, you can position yourself for roles that bridge technology and business. That's where a lot of the opportunities are.
Can we talk about some specific tech terms that are essential for work? I think our listeners would really benefit from that.
Of course, that's a great idea. Let's move into that next. These are the terms you'll see in job descriptions, business articles, and professional discussions. Once you know these, you'll feel so much more confident.
Okay, Jack, let's get into the specific vocabulary. What are the must-know terms for someone preparing for a career in 2026?
Let me think about the most important ones. First and most fundamental is digital transformation itself, but we already covered that. Let me think of other essential terms.
Take your time. This is important.
Okay, here's one. Artificial intelligence, or AI. You've probably heard this everywhere, but it's essential to understand. AI refers to computers that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, things like learning, reasoning, problem solving, and understanding language.
AI is definitely the biggest buzzword right now. What about machine learning? I hear that too.
Great question. Machine learning is a subset of AI. It's when computers learn from data without being explicitly programmed for every task. Instead of following strict rules, the system learns patterns from examples. It's how Netflix knows what you might like, or how email filters detect spam.
So, machine learning is a way to make AI work.
That's a good way to think about it. Now, another important term is big data. This refers to extremely large sets of data that traditional computer programs can't process easily. Companies collect massive amounts of data from customers, operations, and everywhere. Big data technologies help them store, manage, and analyze this information.
That sounds overwhelming. How do they make sense of all that data?
That's where analytics comes in, which brings us to another key term, business intelligence, or BI. This refers to the tools, technologies, and practices that turn raw data into meaningful information for business analysis. BI helps companies make data-driven decisions.
I see. So, big data is the raw material, and business intelligence is the tool that makes it useful.
Perfect understanding. Another essential term is cloud computing, or just the cloud. This means using remote servers over the internet to store, manage, and process data instead of your local computer. You probably use cloud computing every day without realizing it. When you save files to Google Drive or use iCloud, that's cloud computing.
Oh, I use that all the time for my photos and documents.
Almost everyone does. Now, here's an important one, automation. We talked about smart automation earlier, but regular automation is also key. Automation means using technology to perform tasks without human intervention. It ranges from simple email auto responses to complex AI systems.
What about workflow? I see that term a lot.
Workflow refers to the sequence of tasks or processes that make up a piece of work. In business, understanding and improving workflows is crucial. When people talk about workflow automation, they mean using technology to make these sequences more efficient.
What about agile? I've heard that in tech contexts.
Oh, Agile is huge. It's both a mindset and a methodology for project management and software development. Instead of planning everything in detail up front, Agile teams work in short cycles, adapt to changes quickly, and continuously improve. It's become essential across many industries.
So it's about being flexible and responsive?
Exactly. And another related term is Scrum, which is a specific framework within Agile methodology. You'll hear these terms a lot in modern workplaces. Now, let me think of a few more important ones.
Keep going. This is so valuable.
Okay, SaaS stands for Software as a Service. This is when software is delivered over the internet rather than installed on your computer. Examples include Salesforce, Slack, and Google Workspace. Companies subscribe to these services instead of buying and installing software.
That makes sense. It seems more flexible.
It is. Now, cybersecurity is critically important. As companies become more digital, protecting their data and systems from attacks becomes essential. Cybersecurity refers to the practice of protecting computers, networks, and data from unauthorized access or attacks.
That sounds really important. We hear about data breaches all the time.
It is super important. And here's one more. Digital twin. This is a virtual representation of a physical object or system. Companies create digital twins of products, buildings, or even entire cities to simulate and analyze them without the cost and risk of the real thing.
That's so futuristic, like a video game version of real objects.
That's a great way to think about it. And finally, let's talk about APIs. No, wait, that's more technical. Let me give you one more business-focused term. Digital disruption. This refers to how new digital technologies fundamentally change industries and business models, often displacing established companies.
That's what happened to taxi companies with Uber, right?
Exactly. Uber disrupted the taxi industry. Netflix disrupted video rental. These are examples of digital disruption. Understanding this concept helps you anticipate changes in your own industry.
This is such a comprehensive list. Are there any terms related to the employee side of things?
Great thinking. One more important term is upskilling and reskilling. Upskilling means learning new skills to do your current job better. Reskilling means learning completely new skills for a different job. With Digital Transformation 2.0, both are becoming essential as job requirements change.
That shows the importance of continuous learning. It's not a one-time thing anymore.
Exactly. The world of work is changing so fast that the skills you need today might not be the same in 5 years. Being willing to continuously learn is one of the most important skills you can develop.
Jack, you've mentioned some of your experiences working with companies. Can you share more personal stories? I think our listeners would really benefit from hearing real examples.
Of course. Let me think of some good stories. One experience that really stands out was when I consulted for a small family-owned business. They had been running their shop the same way for 30 years. When they finally decided to embrace digital transformation, they were terrified.
Terrified? That's understandable. Change can be scary.
Absolutely. They thought they'd have to become computer experts or hire expensive tech people. But what happened was surprising. We helped them set up a simple online store, use social media for marketing, and implement basic data tracking for inventory.
What happened to their business?
Within a year, their online sales exceeded their in-store sales. And the interesting thing was, they didn't need to become tech experts. They just needed to understand the basics and be willing to try something new. Their business actually grew because they reached customers they never could before.
That's amazing! And they probably learned so much along the way.
They did. The owner told me it was one of the best decisions they ever made. Now they even have a small team that focuses on digital marketing. This is what I want your listeners to understand. Digital Transformation 2.0 isn't just for big tech companies. Every business is affected.
That's so true. What about your own career, Jack? How has understanding these concepts helped you?
Oh, that's a great question. Early in my career, I was like many people. I thought technology was not my thing. I was more interested in the human side of business. But I realized something important. Understanding technology doesn't mean being a programmer. It means understanding what's possible.
What do you mean by that?
Let me give you an example. When I moved into management roles, I worked with technical teams. At first, I felt lost when they talked about APIs and databases and algorithms, but I took the time to learn the basics, not enough to build anything myself, but enough to understand what was possible and ask the right questions.
That must have been challenging.
It was, but it was also incredibly valuable. Once I understood the basics, I could bridge the gap between technical and business teams. I could translate business needs into technical requirements and explain technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders.
That's such an important skill, being bilingual in business and tech.
Exactly. And this is something anyone can do. You don't need a computer science degree. You just need curiosity and willingness to learn. The technical teams actually appreciated having someone who could understand their work and communicate it to others. What about you, Anna? Do you have any experiences with digital transformation?
Actually, yes. I recently changed jobs, and the new company uses project management tools that I wasn't familiar with. At first, I felt really overwhelmed. Everyone else seemed to know how to use these digital tools so naturally.
That's a common feeling. What did you do?
I asked for help. I reached out to a colleague and asked if she could show me the basics. She was more than happy to help. Then I practiced on my own, watched tutorials, and gradually became comfortable. Now I wonder why I was ever nervous.
That's such an important story. The fear of looking incompetent often holds us back, but everyone is willing to help if you ask. And the truth is, everyone is learning something new these days.
That's so true. No one knows anything anymore. We're all continuously learning.
And here's what I noticed. Because I was open about learning the new tools, my colleagues saw me as someone who's adaptable and willing to grow. That actually made a positive impression during my probation period.
That's interesting. So being willing to learn actually helped your career?
Absolutely. In today's world, showing that you're willing to learn and adapt is often more valuable than already knowing everything. Companies understand that things change fast. They want employees who can grow with them.
That's such an encouraging message for our listeners. It's okay to not know everything. What matters is being willing to learn.
Exactly. And that's what Digital Transformation 2.0 is really about. Not just technology, but a mindset of continuous learning and adaptation. Those who embrace this will thrive in the careers of 2026 and beyond.
Okay, everyone, now it's time for our vocabulary breakdown. Jack and I are going to go through the key phrases from today's episode. This is where you'll learn how to use these terms in real conversations.
That's right. Pay attention because these are exactly the kinds of terms you'll encounter in English language business settings. Let's start with our first phrase.
Digital transformation refers to the integration of digital technology into all areas of a business, fundamentally changing how it operates and delivers value to customers. It's not just about using computers, it's about changing the entire way of thinking.
For example, you could say, our company is undergoing digital transformation to stay competitive in the market.
Another example, the digital transformation of healthcare has made telemedicine possible.
Smart automation uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to automate tasks that traditionally required human intelligence. Unlike basic automation, it can learn and improve over time.
Example, smart automation in customer service has reduced response times significantly.
Another one, we're implementing smart automation to handle repetitive tasks so our team can focus on creative work.
Predictive analytics uses data, statistical algorithms, and machine learning techniques to identify the likelihood of future outcomes based on historical data.
You could say, the marketing team uses predictive analytics to anticipate customer behavior.
Another example, predictive analytics helped the retail chain optimize inventory across all stores.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the broad field of creating intelligent machines that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as learning, reasoning, and problem-solving.
Example, artificial intelligence is transforming many industries, from healthcare to finance.
Another one, our company is investing heavily in AI to improve customer experience.
Machine learning is a subset of AI where computers learn from data and improve their performance without being explicitly programmed for each task.
Example,
Machine learning algorithms analyze your viewing history to recommend shows you might like.
Another example, the fraud detection system uses machine learning to identify suspicious transactions.
Big data refers to extremely large volumes of data that traditional processing software cannot handle efficiently. It includes structured data, like numbers, and unstructured data, like text and images.
Example, big data enables companies to discover patterns and insights that were previously impossible to find.
Another one, we need big data specialists to help us make sense of all this information.
Business intelligence, or BI, encompasses the tools, technologies, and practices used to collect, analyze, and present business information to support better decision-making.
Example, the BI team created dashboards that show our sales performance in real time.
Another example, business intelligence helped us identify our most profitable customer segments.
Cloud computing involves using remote servers over the internet to store, manage, and process data instead of local servers or personal computers.
Example, cloud computing allows employees to access files from anywhere in the world.
Another one, we moved our operations to cloud computing to reduce infrastructure costs.
Workflow automation uses technology to automate repetitive manual tasks in business processes, improving efficiency and reducing errors.
Example, workflow automation has reduced our invoice processing time from days to hours.
Another example, we're implementing workflow automation to eliminate bottlenecks in our operations.
Agile is a project management methodology that emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, and iterative development. Teams work in short cycles called sprints, adapting to changes quickly.
Example, our development team switched to Agile methodology to respond faster to customer feedback.
Another one, Agile practices have improved our team's productivity significantly.
Upskilling means developing new skills to enhance your current job performance or career prospects, often in response to changing technology and job requirements.
Example, the company offers programs for upskilling employees in digital technologies.
Another example, upskilling has become essential as automation changes the nature of many jobs.
Reskilling involves learning entirely new skills to prepare for a different job or career path, often when your current role becomes obsolete due to technological changes.
Example, workers affected by automation may need reskilling for new roles.
Another one, the government launched initiatives to help people reskill for jobs in emerging industries.
Digital twin is a virtual representation of a physical object, process, or system that can be used for simulation, analysis, and optimization without affecting the real thing.
Example, engineers created a digital twin of the airplane engine to monitor its performance.
Another example, using digital twins helps manufacturers test changes before implementing them.
Internet of Things, or IoT, refers to the network of physical devices embedded with sensors and software that connect and exchange data with other devices over the Internet.
Example, smart home devices are part of the Internet of Things.
Another one, IoT sensors in warehouses track inventory in real time.
API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's a set of rules that allows different software applications to communicate with each other, enabling them to share data and functionality.
Example, the weather app uses an API to fetch current weather data.
Another example, we need to develop an API so our platform can integrate with partners.
Customer experience, or CX, refers to the overall perception and feeling a customer has when interacting with a company, including every touchpoint from marketing to sales to support.
Example, improving customer experience is a top priority for our business.
Another one, digital transformation has greatly enhanced our customer experience.
Great job, everyone. These 20 key phrases will help you sound professional and knowledgeable in any business discussion about technology and digital transformation.
Now it's time for our reflection questions. Anna and I will ask you some questions to think about. Pause the podcast if you need time to reflect or discuss these with a study partner.
First question. What does digital transformation 2.0 mean to you now after listening to this episode? How is it different from the first wave of digital transformation we discussed?
Second question, which of the technologies we discussed today, smart automation, predictive analytics, AI, or machine learning, do you think will most affect your current or future job? Why?
Third question. Are there any new skills you need to learn to prepare for digital transformation 2.0 in your career? What specific areas would you like to develop?
Fourth question, how do you feel about working alongside smart automation and AI? Do you see it as an opportunity or a challenge? What's your honest reaction?
Fifth question. Think about a company you know well, maybe where you work or shop. How has that company been affected by digital transformation? Can you identify any examples from what we discussed today?
Sixth question, which of the 20 vocabulary words we covered today was new to you? Have you encountered any of these terms in your English learning or at work?
Seventh question. In your opinion, what human skills will become more important as automation handles more routine tasks? Think about creativity, emotional intelligence, communication, or critical thinking.
Eighth question, how can you apply a data-driven mindset in your own decision-making, even in small ways? Think about choices in your personal life or work.
Ninth question. Are you currently upskilling or reskilling in any area? If yes, what's driving that decision? If no, what might motivate you to start?
10th question, based on everything you learned today, what one action will you take this week to prepare yourself for the digital transformation happening in your field?
Take your time with these questions. There's no rush. The most important thing is that you're thinking about how these changes affect you and what you can do to thrive.
And remember, we're always learning. That's exactly what Digital Transformation 2.0 is all about.
Wow, we covered so much today. We talked about digital transformation 2.0, smart automation, predictive analytics, essential tech vocabulary, and how all of this connects to your career.
That's right, and I hope you all feel more confident now when you encounter these terms in English language media. Knowledge is power.
Don't forget to review the vocabulary list and practice using these phrases. Try explaining one concept to a friend in English. Teaching others is a great way to solidify your own understanding.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please let us know. We are here to help you on your English learning journey.
Thank you so much for listening to the English Daily Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Yes, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep growing. See you next time.
Your learning journey doesn't stop here. Keep improving your English. Click the next video or explore more episodes we've picked just for you. See you in the next lesson.